Forecast. Here's KATC Chief Meteorologist Rob Perillo.
Welcome back. Well, if you like today's weather, you're going to like the weekend weather. On and off tropical showers and thunderstorms. No major severe weather threats. Maybe some localized heavy rainfall, and of course ponding on the roadways when it comes down heavy. But that's what we're going to see throughout the weekend. But with time, we're going to start to see some pretty good rain accumulations across the area. We'll get to that in just a bit. First off, though, I want to show you some video from our sister station in Corpus Christi, KRIS, down in the valley of South Texas in Corpus. And you can see out toward the Gulf of Mexico. Some bright skies right now, but 24 hours or less from now, it's going to be a different situation. Hurricane conditions quite possible, not only for Corpus Christi, but for other spots just along and south of the Corpus Christi area. As we look off generally to the east here, that's the Gulf of Mexico out here. So at least some bright skies right now, but that's going to change with time. So let's take a look at the radar, and we take a look at the regional radars, and we got you covered across the western Gulf of Mexico, dialed into not only the Houston, but Corpus Christi and Brownsville radar. And here's the mess out in the Gulf of Mexico. If you look closely, it was more visible and more defined earlier. Here's our center of circulation of our tropical storm, and we'll be watching this throughout the evening. So now we're in radar range. We can tell if this thing is strengthening or getting better organized. Right now, still disorganized, but this squall on the northern part of that center of that circulation certainly producing strong winds. Meanwhile, locally, we have some pretty strong showers and storms just offshore. It's been rough out in the Gulf of Mexico. Some of that has been bleeding inland, but activity beginning to weaken, and we'll still see more tropical showers probably through early this evening. Things gradually tone down around midnight, and then we'll see more action along the coast trying to work its way inland, and that'll move inland during the day tomorrow. So still busy across the tropics as we take a look at all of the Atlantic basin, and now a 40% chance of this strong tropical wave that's come off the African coast. This is going to develop more than likely as it gets into the central and western part of the Atlantic as it gets closer to the Caribbean. And I think we're going to be tracking this one through the Caribbean and perhaps toward the Gulf of Mexico as we go about 10 days down the road. And this one, tropical storm and hurricane possibilities as well. Now, as we get farther to the west, Tropical Storm Gonzalo looking smaller and smaller, but still holding on here. It's expected to weaken and eventually dissipate in the Caribbean Sea sometime this weekend or early next week. So no major concerns with that. Meanwhile, deep tropical moisture persists across the Gulf of Mexico. We have Tropical Storm Hannah, but also lots of lingering deep tropical moisture that's going to be left behind Hannah down the line, we think, and that's going to keep our rain chances high. So here we have Hannah, 50-mile-an-hour winds and perhaps strengthening a little bit over the next couple of days, next 24 hours, and we do think it's going to intensify close to a hurricane at landfall. Hurricane Center forecasting a Category 1 at landfall sometime tomorrow, late morning to the early afternoon, and then that pile drives into the deep Rio Grande Valley, producing some locally very heavy rainfall with time, and that's what we see here on our weather model. And locally for us, we're going to continue to see those tropical rain bands and showers and storms. Heaviest rains down across South Texas into Mexico, 5 to 10 inches, isolated up to 15 here. And locally, we're going to see an inch or two just about each and every day. Some areas catching a half inch, others catching an inch or two, and that's the way it's going to play out for tomorrow. And then we add the rain going into Sunday and Monday, and sooner or later, we're going to see rain totals approaching 4 or 5 inches. But if it occurs over several days, that's not too bad. So lingering evening tropical showers, quieter later on tonight, and the humidity on the top of the scale, so sweaty windows and everything else that sweats this time of year. Then tomorrow, tropical showers and thunder showers on an occasional period, and again, brief torrential downpours like today. Your rain chance staying high at 80%. Temperatures hold in the 80s, at least that's the good news. No 90s until we start to dry out toward the end of next week and into the following weekend. Should be brighter and hotter as well. That's it for weather. We'll be right back right after this.